We're gonna get into this GHEENOE in just a second. I just wanted to say that, again, I left the gas cap tight on the Carolina Skiff J14 and it exploded gas everywhere again. So there's a big stain right here. It definitely looks less like a stain. I've been spraying purple power on it for, you know, every hour on the hour. But this is what happened the first time. It stained the gel coat in the back, and it's the same thing on the deck. So that sucks, and I'm working on fixing that. Worst case scenario, I just replaced the EVA foam back here. But I just figured I would say that I made that mistake 2 days in a row, and I'm paying for it. But back to the GHEENOE Classic. I picked this up just a couple days ago, and I've been excited about building it out, putting a trolling motor on the front, a motor on the back, bringing this paint, this gel coat back to life. It looks like potentially the previous owner maybe tried to do something but gave up on it. But I'm gonna get this thing looking mirror finish again, hopefully tomorrow. Tomorrow is gonna be the build day, so I figured today we do a huge before video and talk a little bit about the boat, the deal that we got, and everything that we're probably going to do so that we have something to look forward to tomorrow. Right now it's like 7 o'clock on a Tuesday night. Video of the whole build should be up around this time tomorrow night. You know how we like to do it. Build it out and send it to the sandbar. So fingers crossed tomorrow at this time we're watching the sunset from the sandbar. But let's just jump right into it. The reason that I got this particular GHEENOE Classic is because it's the wide one. I'll go grab a measuring tape just so we can get exact measurements. But I can say just from the looks of it, it's like twice as wide as the last GHEENOE that I had and flipped. I told myself I would never get another GHEENOE 15.4. It is such a mess in here. I don't even know if I'll be able to find a measuring tape. There we go. The old Milwaukee 25 footer. All right. So, if you watched the last GHEENOE video, we flipped it. And it was as crazy as it sounds, it was more traumatic than I thought it was, because every single time I've been on the water since, it just feels a little weird. All right, so 4 feet across. I mean, I would say, get that on the inside, 44.5 inches wide in the middle of the boat. I would say, sheesh, the widest point of a 15.4, I don't even know, definitely in the 30s though, as far as how wide it is. This thing is tremendously wider than the 15.4. So, I mean, if we're talking about percentages, I would say, what? 45% less likely to flip this thing on the intercoastal. I'm gonna throw a 25 on there as well. So, I mean, there's potential to get a little squirrely. Let's see. Yeah, rated for, you know, you can go up to a 25 horse. That's what we're gonna throw on it. So, but yeah, I just want to talk a little bit about it. When I've been wanting one of these. I either wanted a classic or a LT, and this is just the first thing that popped up. It popped up on Marketplace for, I want to say $3,500, 4,000, something like that. But it had a like a late 90s Yamaha 2-stroke on the back, and it had a trolling motor mount up in the front that had like a pretty old, I want to say early 2000s Minn Kota Riptide. I have it in the back. I might as well show you guys. I kind of just added it to my trolling motor collection, if you will, but I didn't deem it as an upsell by any means. So there she is. It's a 40 anyway. Nice retro look. But I figured I would yank it off. I got enough to, you know, fill its void. But it had a pretty sick trolling motor mount on the front. That was the first thing that I did. I just took a picture of it. It was mounted right here. Took a picture of it, threw it on Marketplace, I think for like 60 bucks. Sold it within like 30 minutes. Because I think I'm gonna put the co-pilot up here and really deck the boat out with the best fishing equipment that I have. Got the 4-stroke Yamaha 25. I think it's like a 2016. Gonna throw that on the back. And Riptide co-pilot 55-pound thrust up front. I think that'll be a huge upsell. But anyways, he had it listed for somewhere between, yeah, I just want to say 4,000 bucks just to be safe. And I shot him a message and I was like, dang, I haven't seen a classic pop up on Marketplace in this area in a while. Would you possibly sell it without the old 2-smoker and without the trolling motor? And he was like skeptical at first, but I said, you know, I'll shoot you 2,500 bucks for it. Just the hole in the trailer. And he must have known something I didn't know, because he was like, shoot, 2,500 bucks, you can keep the trolling motor. I mean, knowing now, I didn't see it well in the pictures that it's just a old dusty 40-pound thrust Minn Kota. But he was like, oh, I'll keep the trolling motor on there. Anywho, I meet up with him, and after looking at it, he met me in like a Publix parking lot. After looking at everything, I ended up offering him 2,000 bucks, and that's what we agreed upon. He did a lot to it. Whatever he said he did or didn't do, I'm not sure if it actually was done under his care. But it is a complete boat that does not have any leaks, which is great. The first thing that I did right when I got home was plug the holes and fill it with water. And no leaks, but I mean, these holes are super easy. I mean, just get underneath and check them out, see if there's any spider cracks that might leak, something that might leak. I mean, that's how I got the that's how I got it for 2,000 bucks. To be honest, I've never bought a classic before. I've only purchased 15.4s. The cheapest 15.4 I got was like 400 bucks, and the most expensive I ever paid for a 15.4 was like 2,800 bucks, like all done. So dabbling into the classic market, I didn't really know where to price it, but I think 2,000 was a good deal. Considering it was definitely somebody's project, but it looks pretty good still. I think it's on this side. Oh yeah, there we go. We got a one patch that stems pretty long, but it might be a big deal to some people, but not to me, because the fiberglass on the bottom of these holes is already super thin. And I gave it a couple whacks. Yikes! Gave it a couple whackers, and it was strong. He said that that's how it was when he got it, and I do believe him, because everything else that he said he did actually still smells like fresh fiberglass, and underneath, you know, doesn't. So I trust him. He seemed like a pretty stand-up guy. It already has some matting on it, which is, you know, neither here nor there. It looks pretty good. The white and black camo with the diamond stitch looks pretty sweet. Can't fault him for the crazy lines because I do that myself when I'm putting matting on skiffs. It really beats me why he put this janky old yellow hatch on here. I mean, it's such an eyesore. I'm sure from the beginning of this video, y'all were over there gagging, being like, what is that hatch? But obviously this might be the first thing that I do tomorrow is yank this off, throw a coat of black paint. Because I mean, you throw a coat of black paint on this, it changes everything. Even this, I mean, this is kind of weird. This deck back here, which I might, honestly, I just grabbed it just now. I did not know that it comes off. But I might completely take this off and switch to maybe a board right there with some more matting on it, because this thing kind of just looks dated. But I don't even know how this is supposed to stay on there. I guess there's some hooks. Anywho, it's kind of sweet. It gives you some room to walk around. But who knows? I'll make that decision tomorrow. If I can secure it a little better, I might keep it there. But this seat is just rusted on. Oh, yeah, seat's not spinning right now. I'm gonna have to spit that with some PB Blast. But yeah, the trailer's in pretty good condition. Could probably use a light kit back here. We got a broken light. Leaf springs are okay. Continental trailer's pretty good. I had to move everything forward on the trailer because when I first got it here, the other garage was taken, the other garage was taken, the other garage was taken, you know what I'm saying. So I had to like move the Carolina Skiff all the way against the wall and kind of puzzle piece this boat into that garage, and I had to make it as short as possible. So moved everything up, moved the boat up on the trailer, which I mean seems all right because it ended up in a pretty decent spot here in the back end, especially with the 25 on there. I'm gonna want to do what you gotta do. I like saw it in my peripheral vision and was like, what am I looking at? But yeah, I've done that before. That's sweet. Anywho, with the 25 on there, it'll be like the perfect spot for that support. So that all worked out, although it is just super close to the front. Yeah, I had to move everything. I snuck this through the part that you rest on the ground. So I mean, it all worked out, and I was able to fit it in the garage. The Sketchy John sold, so I have room in another garage, so that, you know, I don't really worry about it when it's just like this out in a parking spot. But whenever I start putting Minn Kotas and Yamahas and all this other stuff, basically just completely rigging it up, you know, I don't want to just leave that out here. So, but there's like wet fiberglass resin. I'm not sure what was going on. The transom is solid as a rock, which is good. Some fiberglass patches. Looks like you did all right. Nothing is like too squirrely. Does this open? Yeah. Fire extinguisher. Let's take a look at that. Oh my god. Whoa. All right, maybe the old fire extinguisher went off or something. That's kind of what that looks like. But I mean, sweet storage compartments. What, you use this as a live well? I probably won't. Oh, another. Oh, that's sick. Throw this up in the front. Hey, how you doing? That's sweet. I'm gonna have to give this a huge deep clean before I start doing anything. What's going on back here? What is this, where you put a battery? Something like that. We got some spray foam. I mean, works for me. What is this? This is where you like rest your feet when you're driving. Well, yeah, I paid $2,000, and I paid $2,000 for my Yamaha 25, and then I stole the Minn Kota Copilot for $500. So I mean, I'm gonna be in it $4,500. You know, give or take a bunch of little miscellaneous things like paint for the hatch, maybe a couple of seats, the time and effort and the compound that's going to be used on this hull, bring it back to life. Give or take $4,600. Not going to do anything too crazy. Don't get too excited. We're just going to make it look really good, and we're just going to throw a motor on it, and we're just going to throw a trolling motor on it, and we're just going to put seats on it, and we're just going to send it. That's it. We're not doing crazy fiberglass work. We're not, super modifying. We're not like throwing crazy electrical system and panels and speakers and lights, and we're not doing all that. We're just trying to get on the water as quick as possible, to go as fast as possible with what we have. That's what's on the radar for this GHEENOE Classic. But I mean, it's sweet. I'm super excited to see how it handles on the water, because I've always loved the GHEENOE 13s because of how wide the transom is, and I've always hated how the 15.4s just narrow out in the back, and it made me almost want to do a GHEENOE like 13-foot project and just delete the middle bench seat and put a false floor, and just to have the wide transom on the back, just to have a little bit more stability. Because I mean, even before we flipped the 15.4, when we would fish it, I mean, like, let me see if I can prop you up for a second, because like, we're like trying to move past each other, going from the bow to the stern, and he's going from the stern to the bow, and we're past each other, grabbing on to the rails, and you know what I'm saying. That's like the whole dance you play on a 15.4. So I'm just hoping that that's less likely on the Classic. But I mean, ton of space for what it is. And there's also a ton of storage. I opened the hatch up. I guess I didn't look inside. Anything crazy going on in here? More fiberglass resin. What on earth? What is that? Okay. All right, we'll dive into that a little bit more. I mean, I don't even remember what year it is, but it's fine for what it is. The only problem is, like, I told him when I was buying it that I can't pay more than $2,000, because I'm cool with it and I'm gonna have a blast with it. I'm gonna have tons of fun sending this to the sandbar, fishing it. I don't even care. I'll take this offshore. But that's just me. When it gets to reselling a GHEENOE, I don't know if this is gonna like hit to some of y'all, but it hits to me because I've sold so many GHEENOEs. But the people who show up to buy a GHEENOE, it's like 50-50 depending on like who shows up. The first half is like me, and it's like, whatever, I'm just trying to get out on the water, and this seems to do it. I can get into the back creeks, and I can also fish the intercoastal, fish some docks, but I can also get in the mangroves. And it's like such a versatile boat that I'm just trying to fish, and this is a good vessel to fit my needs. And then there's like the other 50% that want this to be like just a perfect boat. Like they expect it to be so much more than what it is. And they're really like tight in the ass. And it's like, those ones are a little harder to deal with. And I know that if somebody like that shows up, like they're usually like in their 30s, early 40s, and they're showing up wanting the 20-year-old boat to be perfect. And they want, you get what I'm saying. There's two different types of people that come to look at a GHEENOE. And I need to have enough wiggle room on the back end to still make a deal with those people. That's basically what I told him, and he agreed, and we came to an agreement of $2,000, and which is fine. Going into the summer, it's hard to get deals on skiffs out here anyway, unless you really take risks on skiffs like I did on that one with no title, which lucked out getting the title, and a whole story behind that. But yeah, kind of just a before. Tomorrow's going to be the after, and it's going to save me a lot of explaining tomorrow, I suppose. So the whole explanation is in this video. I'm probably going to, clean these up, throw a coat of black paint, check to see if the trailer lights work. If they don't, I'll throw a new kit on there. But the hull is going to clean up super well. All summer, last summer, I had a business going, running and restoring boats. Heavy details, like just revivals on old skiffs and big boats and offshore boats and center consoles. Like literally everything. Over the summer last year, I couldn't even tell you how many boats that I brought back to life. I really take pride in that part, and it's been a while since I've gotten a skiff that can use some help in that area. Everything else, like the John boat, you can't buff that out, the Carolina skiff is already nice and white and clean. So I mean, something like this that I can really have a satisfying before and after with, I'm actually very excited for that. I might spoil myself a little bit, go and get some new machines, some new compounds, really stock the shelf with everything again. Maybe see if we can find some more boats that need some oxidation repair and bring the gel coat back to life. But yeah, just in a nutshell, pay $2,000 for it. I think that's kind of right on the money for what it is. I think $2,500 would have been overpaying by a lot. I mean, $2,000 maybe, I would believe you if you said you paid $1,500 for it. But we're talking about a couple hundred here. It's not like I overshot it by too much. But I think after a good cleaning, I could clean this and buff this out and, relist it just as is for a little bit more than what I paid. So throw the 4-stroke, throw the Minn Kota. I'm looking to get, honestly, a little bit more than break even on the back end. This isn't going to be like a huge flip, like that's going to really rob the bank. But who knows how numbers are going to look closer into like the deeper parts of summer. We're in May right now. I figured June, July, numbers will probably, raise a little bit. And we might be hitting the market at the appropriate time. But it's just a quick flip. So, I mean, in it, 45, 46, 47, around that ballpark, sell it for 55, 6, But, I mean, I'd like to know your opinion. A nice GHEENOE Classic with a nice low-hour 2016 or 17 short shaft Yamaha 25 on the back, and a nice 55-pound co-pilot, autopilot, or iPilot trolling motor in the front with a new deep cycle, a new starting battery, and like, where do you put that? I have a vision for this that I think is going to end up looking sweet. Probably paint this black. If I keep the deck, paint that black. You know, I'm gonna restore as many things as I can. The rod holders, storage. Ugh, such a stretch to think that these are even gonna open, but oh, I guess that's just yeah, I don't know. Take those off, paint them black. Take this off, make it look better, paint it black. Just make everything look better. I'd like to know where you put that on the market. But yeah, if you have any questions, ask in the comments. This is a way longer video than it needed to be, but I figured we'd just have a chill sesh, talk about some boats and whatnot out here during the sunset. But I'm excited. So I'm gonna wake up bright and early tomorrow and get to work, cracking away at the gel coat first for sure. It needs the most help. That's gonna be the bulk of the day. And then mounting the motor, mounting the trolling motor, painting little things. It's gonna be sweet, and I hope you show up to watch it. If you made it this far in the video, you're a legend, and I appreciate you watching. And we're gonna have a fun day tomorrow, starting in the parking lot, ending on the sandbar, hopefully. Yeah, I'm rambling at this point. I appreciate you watching. Cheers. Peace.